If your game room is anything like mine, it is constantly covered in a coating of game and game adjacent stuff. In this video, I'm gonna explain to you why that never, ever sucks. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Garmin. This, of course, is the Storycraft Society, and over this past weekend, I had a heck of a lot of fun. It was one of the best weekends of gaming I've had in a long time. I mean, the evidence is here, right? I've got a Dungeons and Dragons setup. I've got a Guild Ball setup that's buried underneath all of this stuff. I actually have a setup from where I was taking photos of one of Olivia's miniatures. I have Suro over there, which is a new game that we just recently picked up and got to play. All of these things happened over the weekend, and now that I'm living in the post-awesome gaming weekend hangover, I go into that same idea of, now where does all of this stuff go? I'm constantly struggling to find storage and ways to optimize that storage and all that stuff. Now, the thing that really hit me this morning is when I was looking over this multitude of stuff that I've got to get onto a shelf and a way to clear my table off, something hit me. So as I work through each individual thing and start working it back to its respective place on the shelf, I'm gonna be imparting some of that wisdom of what hit me this morning. I really, really think that it's important. Tables that look like this are not a bad thing. They are the opposite of a bad thing. So with that said, let's dive into each one of these things and we'll talk about them. All right, so we're kind of working in reverse order of the things that I did last over the weekend to the things that I did earlier in the weekend, because everything just kind of piles up on top of each other. So the last thing that I did was I took pictures of a miniature that Olivia just painted. Now, the miniature in question is Mama Gimbal from the game Moonstone. If you have not seen our video on Olivia unboxing her Moonstone Christmas present, you should definitely check that out. I will link that in the description below, but we have been playing a bunch of Moonstone recently, although a little bit frustratingly, we have been playing them with unpainted minis because she is taking her good time trying to get them painted. Not that there's anything wrong with that. She is taking her time, she enjoys painting, I'm not complaining, but we're still playing with unpainted miniatures. So she finally got the very first one done, which is Mama Gimbal, and I wanted to celebrate both her artistry and her achievement of getting that done by taking cool thematic pictures of it. Now, honestly, it's one of those things where I think that miniature photography should be thematic more than anything, and I know that there's definitely people who take their miniature pictures and have them with a clean background so nothing detracts from the miniature at all. I just personally like for the photo to tell a story. And in Moonstone the game, you're running around at night trying to gather up all of these crystals called moonstones, so I felt like she deserved to be in the city square underneath the stars looking for her moonstones. But anyway, I did one little kind of cool trick. If you notice, I pulled buildings way far back off of the back of the map because in the photo, it's not like a video. You can't really see the bases of the buildings, but it gives the city a lot of depth, where this building feels like it's really far away, but the buildings that are here seem much closer. Also, they seem on different levels because you have the different heights of buildings. I just really think that that is a fun way to take your photography of a city scene like this up another little click. But that's really it. I set up a fun scene to take a cool picture of a miniature, and now it's time to put all this stuff away. With this one, I am so glad and proud of the work that Olivia did, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So this time we didn't move very far, but underneath of Olivia's miniature painting photography setup, or I guess it was my miniature painting photography, underneath of all of that city scene was all of this stuff for Guild Ball, the game. Now, Olivia and I are both very late to the party on Guild Ball. In fact, it is no longer supported by the manufacturer, but we just started playing this year. Both of us are really big soccer fans. Both the Timbers and German national football are our teams. And when we found out that you could play a war game, a miniatures tabletop war game, but also play football, we were very excited about that. The game that we played this weekend was the Masons versus the Brewers. Those are the two teams that come in the kickoff starter set, and I lost. Olivia beat me 12-8. Yep, We had a really, really good time playing. There's a lot of bits to this game, so I really need to clean that up next, I guess. Let's go. The next thing that I have to clean up, or, well, not exactly clean up, just put onto the shelf, is a new board game that Olivia and I got. This is called Sorrow of the Seas. Basically, the whole shtick of the game is you are tracing paths with your individual tiles that you will place. You're moving your ship along those paths, and eventually when you run into the other person, you are trying to knock them off the board. Person who knocks everyone else off of the board and is the last one standing is the winner. Really simple, really straightforward game. Really, really, really fun. Glad that we picked this up. And then we also picked up the Veterans of the Seas expansion because, you know, we're wild like that. When we buy a board game, you can't just buy the simple thing. You got to buy all the stuff. With that said, love it. Had a lot of fun playing a new game, and I think this one is going to make it into the rotation for a long time to come. Now, the last thing that I have to clean up, which is technically the very first thing that we did over the weekend, was we played a game of Dungeons and Dragons with our friends. This was such a fun game because the group had to venture off into the northern hills of the Kingdom of Tomintoul and track down and eliminate an enemy band of gorillas that had been terrorizing the area. Now, this game was so much fun for a lot of reasons, a lot of awesome story moments that came out of it. One in particular, Corey, you know who you are, decided that he would deface a shrine to a god, one of the gods of my world, and his character Farad paid quite dearly for it. But with that said, lots of good laughs and fun story moments, everyone coming together to tell an awesome story. And for that, I am super, super grateful. What I am not grateful for is having to pack this all up. So let's get it all packed up and back to the shelf. So now here I sit in a reverberating empty room with an empty table, no games on it. And the question that I come to is the same thing that kind of hit me this morning as I looked all across the crowded and full table. Just now I feel it in reverse. I had a lot of fun on this table over the weekend. It was one of those weekends that I just will remember for a long time because from start to finish, it was just jam-packed full of so much cool gaming that I just can't help but smile when I think about it. So I guess take the thumbnail or the title of this video with a grain of salt. Obviously, you have to clean your room. Obviously, you have to keep all of your stuff off of the table so that you can have open space to do new stuff. But for me, I just am so glad that I didn't clean up any of these games in the moment because I got to look out across this whole big table full of crap and I got to say to myself, dang, that was fun. With that said, I hope you enjoyed watching me clean my room. Honestly, it's just kind of wild that this video fell into place anyway. I enjoyed making it for sure, but I just felt so pumped to tell all of you about how great the weekend was and why seeing all this stuff just made me relive it over and over. Hopefully with that said, you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, definitely leave me a like or a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. It's free. Lots of cool content coming out on the channel, whether it's Dungeons and Dragons related, crafting related, gaming related, all kinds of stuff. If there's something in particular that you would like to see, drop that in the comments below. That will definitely help me to plan what content I'm going to be making on the channel in the future. And lastly, share this video with a friend. That is the #1 way to help grow a small YouTube channel, is for you to share this video or another one of my videos with someone that you think would enjoy it. So that's all I have for this week. Until next week, I'll be seeing you.